Hey guys, this is Loki with Niflheim Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil 3. Before I get to that, I do want to apologize for the huge gap from the last review and this one. Also, let's see if we can't get 10 likes for this video to let me know you guys are enjoying reviews like this. So, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was released in 1999 on the original Sony PlayStation. This is one of the more polarizing games that I've seen the fans of the series discuss. It seems most people either loved it or hated it. I haven't seen a whole lot of in between about it. Personally, I thought it was fairly well done. It boasts 3D models that have been slightly upgraded compared to the previous entry, and pre-rendered backgrounds that still look fairly good today in my opinion. This game also introduced a couple of new gameplay mechanics, the 180 degree quick turn and the attack dodge. And the quick turn is still seen in all current Resident Evil games. The attack dodge I haven't seen so much. It shows up as a quick time event sometimes in some of the newer ones, but nothing like what you have in this game. The attack dodge in this game is usually done by pressing the aim button, or if you're already aiming, pressing the attack button just before an enemy attacks. And Jill will either jump back, shove them out of the way, or sometimes roll depending on the enemy and the type of attack that they're doing. The controls otherwise are the same as they were in the previous two games. The clunky tank controls that still held some charm to me. There's also a couple of unique items that you can find that you have in the game. The items are the reloading tool and various gunpowders you come across in the game. So gunpowders can be mixed together to make new types of gunpowder. You can find A and B types in the game. You can mix them to make C, mix AC, all sorts of different stuff like that. And what they're used for is you mix the gunpowders with the reloading tool and you get different types of ammo. You can make handgun rounds, shotgun shells, magnum rounds, and various types of grenades through the different gunpowders. The more you make of a specific type, the more proficient Jill becomes in making that type of ammo, and the more you yield. Due to this, there is not as much actual raw ammo laying around as there was in previous games. But you find plenty of gunpowder to make up for it. This game was meant to be more action-oriented than it was in previous games. Now, your enemies in the game includes traditional fan favorites such as zombies, dogs, spiders, and birds. We also see a handful of other enemies in the game. Hunters make a return in two new forms. The Hunter Beta, which looks kind of like the old Hunters, just has kind of like a bloodied face. And the new Hunter Gammas, which were nicknamed Froggers by their development team. They were developed as amphibious forms of hunters. You also run into Drain Dynamos and Brain Suckers. They appear to be mutated fleas. Aside from kind of an initially shocking appearance the first couple times you see them, they're not extremely noteworthy. They are faster and stronger than zombies, but they still don't pose that much of a threat. Usually one or two shotgun shells at close range is enough to take them out. There are a couple minor enemies like the small spiders and a new one called slider worms, which act similar to the small snakes in the original Resident Evil. And I mean, they're about as useful as the cockroaches from Resident Evil 2. They're just a minor annoyance in the game, really. There are only two bosses in the entire game. This is made up for by fighting them multiple times. You run into the Gravedigger boss, which is a giant mutated millipede, and you also run into everybody's favorite from the game, the Nemesis Tyrant. Now, technically you do fight two different Gravediggers, one being a white Gravedigger in the parking garage, and one being a brown one that you fight in Raccoon Park. Now, when we get to Nemesis, he's not your everyday boss character. His repeated utterance of stars alongside his growls of rage was enough to send chills down my spine when I was younger. He does show up occasionally sporting his own personal rocket launcher, which he does not hesitate to use on you, if given the chance. You're generally given two choices when he first shows up in an area of the game. One almost always will get you away or temporarily defeat him, and the other tends to pitch you into a fight or chase scene with him. If you do wind up in a fight and you don't have the resources or you just don't want to fight, generally you have the option of running, though he will pretty much relentlessly chase you for a few segments of the game. There are a handful of times that you don't get a choice and have to stand your ground or run, and there are 3 occasions that you must fight and defeat him, including the final battle of the game. Overall, the story to this game feels pretty short, but it does feel complete. Originally, this game was going to be a spin-off anyway, and Capcom had too many projects going on at the time. This game got selected because it was the smallest and easiest of them to finish on the original Sony PlayStation, which also kind of fed into what Sony was asking of them because they wanted 3 main series title games on the original PlayStation. This is also the first game in the series that does not give the player an option of what character they'd like to play. In this game, you play as Jill Valentine, one of the protagonists from the original game, in her desperate attempt to escape the city. First half of the game is actually set before the events of Resident Evil 2, and the last half is set 2 days after, culminating in the ultimate fate of the infected city and all the residents that were unable to escape it. You know, despite being short and having a couple of quirks, I enjoyed the game myself, and personally, I'd recommend it to you if you're a fan of the series and never played it, or if you're just now getting into the series. You can find physical copies, found some disc-only copies online for around $15 US, though you can also pick it up on the PlayStation Network through the PS3, PlayStation Portable, or PS Vita for about $6. Guys, I want to thank you for hanging out with me for a bit while I walk through some nostalgia times. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with their releases and let us know that you want to keep these videos coming. Also, be sure to check out my friend Lothiriel Mu here on YouTube, who's doing a playthrough of Resident Evil 0 on her channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Drop in and let her know that Niflheim Gaming sent you. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you next time.